is how the assessment will be done for this particular unit. Yeah, so today I would like to invite, we shall be having a guest speaker who will be joining us at about 9:30, 9:35, depending on his availability. And what we shall be looking at mainly is cloud computing. And perhaps by now you've had quite a number of classes or perhaps an idea or two about cloud computing. And then from there you can ask him things to do with industry, how his career is, how he started, and from there we can be able to have a better interaction. So he'll give us maybe a 15 to 20-minute presentation, after which we shall have a Q&A, and we shall end the lecture with a study of a company on how they've used cloud computing in their day-to-day businesses. So that's the structure for today, and I hope you enjoy the session. Let's try to be as active as possible. So before I can invite our guest, I can take questions based on what I have just presented to you. Okay, I don't see any hands being raised. So I suppose we are all on the same page. I see very few participants. I don't know where the rest of the class is. It's 9:26. The module leaders. I'm still talking about what we intend to cover today. I don't know if you came across the story of Microsoft and the server they had dipped at the bottom of the sea. Did you come across any of such a story? It was a dummy project where they were trying to test to see how efficient servers can be if they are put inshore at the bottom of the sea because of the conditions that are there. So the currents at the bottom basically keep the temperatures very low. And on recovering it after I think 2 years, it must have been put there in 2018 in Auckland. So after 2 years, they noticed that it's the costs of running that server at the bottom of the sea were far much less than those of handling it on mainland. And it's a project I suppose that will proceed for quite a number of some more years to come. But from this, you can see how far the technology is really going. Because if you look at the costs of setting up some of these things, I mean, Google, as a Microsoft as a company, they have quite a number of um, customers that they work with and the big data that they work with. So you can find that them setting up very big servers of thousands of square meters is quite expensive, but you compacting everything in a small tube and you throw it at the bottom of the sea, you're not going to have AC expenses. You're not going to have maintenance expenses of people damaging the hardware as they're passing through, or doing maintenance and things like that. So it's quite interesting that this is how far this research is going and the kind of amazing things that are happening. So you can read about that particular story and maybe pick an idea or two, and you can relate with what we are meant to be carrying out in some of these topics that we shall be talking about. So let me just consult with our guest today as we wait for that. Okay, so looks like our guest is already here. So I'll just give a brief introduction and then I'll give over the mic to him. So allow me welcome Mr. Gerald Ogola, who is an IT expert with a multinational corporation. For those of you who speak French, perhaps you've heard of Sans Frontières. So he works with the IT team over there and collaborates different regions across Africa and overseas. So I'd like to welcome him to give us our presentation today. The session will be between 15 to 20 minutes, after which we shall have Q&A from you to see what you can harness from his field of knowledge in regards to what we are meant to be discussing today. So Gerald, karibu sana. The students are very much ready to have you here.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I want to assume that it is a morning for everyone. So my name is Gerald. I think Raymond has tried to give a lot of introduction about me. So I work with an NGO called MSF. And MSF is majorly, we work with Doctors Without Borders. So we try to offer services to medical assistance to so many people across the world, in Africa, majorly in west part of Africa, like Nigeria, some parts of Central Africa, and also in Somalia, and also in Ethiopia. So apart from that, you also do Middle East and other parts of the world, just trying to offer the medical service. But something unique about our organization, MSF, is that we take the services to the people. Like you see, some NGOs go to, let's say, Nairobi, and they offer services there. But for us, for example, in Central African Republic, we go to the forest, we set up the environment there, and our doctors and nurses and logisticians work right in the middle of that forest. So that is something that makes us a bit unique. We give services to people exactly where they need it. I think some of the areas you have worked that is well known, for example, in 1994 in Rwanda genocide, we supported a lot in medical services, and we are an organization that we don't take sides politically. So we are helping both sides that are fighting just to try to ensure that we give the services without being able to take a political side. So does it? I've worked in Strathmore University for 3 years in iLab Africa. I used to work with a different team. Initially, we developed systems to a data collection system. It's like data mapping for forest, for animals to be able to check how the environment is behaving. I also joined a team that was developing a revenue system for counties. Like in Busia, I was the lead developer for the revenue system in Busia, in Kilifi, in Kiambu, I think almost 6 counties, but I left before joining a telecommunication company that deals with VoIP. VoIP application, basically, I'm sure most of you know what VoIP is. Basically, you see the way Safaricom, you make calls, but no, for Safaricom, you use GSM network, and you use your device, connect to Safaricom infrastructures, then Safaricom uses the base stations to send these calls to other person's call. But for VoIP, it's very interesting. We do international calls, but we don't have any infrastructure. We don't have a base station. What we do, we convert the analog calls to digital, send it through the internet. Then once we get to the other side where the call is being terminated from, we convert back the digital to analog. Then we use the available infrastructure in that country to make the call. So that means that you can use internet to call someone using a GSM. It's a bit complicated, but very interesting actually. So I think the purpose of this discussion will be very realistic about career development. Choosing this topic was a bit difficult for me, but I think it's good to share. So I'll just take you through just a brief discussion about career development as realistic as possible, because I'm still growing, not very old in the industry, but it has been a very interesting journey for me. So maybe starting with the 5 stages of career development, which I think are important for students. Because for me, I did my undergraduate in Moi University, computer engineering. Then I came to Strathmore University, started internship there at iLab, trying to do mobile development when Android was still the very beginning, and developing iOS as well, and also web applications. So one thing that is important is, as you develop your career, the first thing that you need to understand is do like a self-assessment. Do what do you like? What personally, I as Gerald, what's my interest? Then the next thing is you have to do like general research in the market. What is valid currently? What's trending? To be able to see which career you want to take, the decisions you want to make. So now that part of making the decisions, now that this is the point I want to take, then also it's important to have some network. Very important. Not these networks we have like the big, you see somebody has a father or a big father or whatever. Network here is you go to an organization, you do internship, you create good relationship with people there, you become more disciplined, execute your work perfectly, and create like job relationship and also like friend relationship. So these are the people, after you're finishing your campus, these are the people you'll call. I don't believe in and using godfathers. I totally believe if you work well and you have good relationship with people, you can get opportunities, as a young person. The credibility that you have and you create in the organization is what basically gives you the wings to fly to another level. So these are the areas we are going to discuss around. I don't want to bore you with a lot of stories, but I want us just to go through this very quickly. It's not a class session, it's a discussion session. Feel free to ask questions. It's a sharing session, basically. So self-assessment, you just look at personality, you look at your values, the skills. Skills here is what do you do and you enjoy? There are some careers that you do to get money, but there are careers that something that you can do for free and you still enjoy it. If you can convert that passion to having a source of income from it, that's perfect. Don't struggle with a career that you are not a networking person, then you go do networking. You're not a software development person, you go do software. You're not a data science person, you go do data science. So basically, you try to create something that you enjoy. Especially, that's basically what career interest is. And now you talk about knowledge and learning style and self-employment. Yeah, but this one should come later, self-employment. At least you need to explore the industry first, be able to have some level of experience, you know how to build, you have already built some network within yourself, and you can be able to execute things. Some people do freelancing. For example, software developers, you like to do freelancing. You can do freelancing well, but you need to negotiate well for yourself to be able to get paid what you deserve. We have so many people in town coming to you and say, oh, we can develop this software, then we'll give you a percentage. And those are stories. We need to ensure that as you do the development, you are paid your due course. But this, you can only get experience after working with some people who are experienced, then you gain this knowledge from them. So let's talk about research. This is very important. You need to know what is trending in the market. For example, now doing data science is big. Doing, for example, things like doing something like Bitcoin or anything related with having a ledger, like a database that is not centralized, is very interesting. Still, there's a lot to explore. For example, in the field of VoIP applications, it's actually a very interesting field to look into. Doing information search, doing information interviews, job shadowing, and gaining experience. I want to talk about something interesting here about information interviews. When you get an opportunity and you get an opportunity to go for interview, maybe you don't need the job, but I usually tell people you can go for the interview whether you need it or you don't. You may get some interesting questions from there and you can be able to understand what people are looking for. Sometimes you go to a job interview and you realize that you have learned something new. And also, secondly, you may realize that people are not looking for general skills that you have or experience. They're looking for your passion, your drive, your discipline. Basically, it's more of personality than the tech. Because you can go to a place when you have no knowledge, but you're willing to learn and explore, and you end up going there and becoming a better in terms of technical because you're ready to learn and grow. But if you don't have self-discipline, you can be so knowledgeable, but still not very useful to that organization. So decision making here, something that I need to maybe mention this as a young person that I think I experienced. Sometimes we make decisions in our career in terms of organizations that we join based on how much they're willing to pay us. For me, I wouldn't choose how much they're willing to pay us, though it's important, money is important, but I'll choose how much space it is to grow upwards. For example, if I go to an organization and I know I only have this position, I can get this amount, is good. But after 5 years, I'll still be in this position. No. I better go to an organization that I know maybe after 1 year I can grow to another, not in terms of being given job promotions, but in terms of gaining skills. because you can gain skills after 2 years that you can use later in the next 5 years at a very useful position. But you can earn certain level of amount that looks good for you, but still after maybe 2 years, you are back to where you were, no skills gained, and you have spent time. So when I was finishing my campus, I got a job at two organizations. One was organization that was working with insurances from like people living in US, sending insurances to their families in the country, and they're using these insurances to pay for medical. It's like they're paying a standard fee, but now when their families in Kenya needs medical assistance, they can get it at that cost, no matter how much medical expense it is. But it was a research position and it doesn't look promising. Most of the people who are working there were in US, and I had like a subsidiary position in Kenya. So it was good money compared by then. But I looked at it and said, let me join iLab Africa. I'll be doing research. There will be trainings. I'll be doing software development. I'll be growing my career. In the next 3 years, I also have possibility of doing a master's there. So you're having master's growing and you're having career growing. After 5 years, somebody will ask you, I need someone who has 3 years of experience in development with a master's. I've got them all because I've done my master's. During this same period, I'm doing my career growth. So this part here, decision making, you should just look at a position that you have space to grow, add more skills rather than just getting the money. So yeah, some of us make such mistakes the very early. Network and contact, this is very important. I remember when I finished my campus in Moi University, I don't want to name who, but I called someone in iLab Africa. I did internship there for I think 6 months. I had just left campus. Like I left campus in December around 23rd, getting back home with my bags from Keses. Moi University is in very interior. Getting back to Nairobi and like, now what next? Then I just called that guy. Hey, so and so, I'm done with campus. He told me, bring your papers, and that was it. That's how I got job in iLab. It was never about knowing someone. The guy was not even from my, in Kenya, there's a lot of these issues of tribe. It was not even from my tribe, no. It's just that the good relationship we had with him and job ethics we had. So that's it. That is how I kickstarted my career. So if you go to do internship somewhere, kindly be very nice to people, do your job with a lot of diligence, give your best. It will totally pay, not maybe at that time, but later. It will pay. Yeah. So this part of work, like work never ends, but if you're given an offer and you accept it, ensure that you deliver what you promised. Some of us has super awesome resumes. Oh, I can do this, I can do that, I can do this. But at the end of the day, what matters is what you actually deliver. You can maybe create a direction in the organization. You can grow yourself in terms individually. You can improve the organization that you've gone. And also, as you work there, you put your eyes open, try to find other opportunities outside there that are available for you. So I totally believe IT is a very interesting field if you're taking it. It's so wide. You don't need a class to know everything. There are so many resources online. If you go to YouTube, you want to do software development, data science, anything, these resources are totally available. You can get a tutor who can teach you step by step. You achieve anything you want. So I usually say in IT, you can actually be who you want. It's totally your personal effort, your discipline, and also your ability to have that open mind. An open mind, anything can come in, and there's no limitations to how much you can be able to put in. So career is totally personal decisions. You don't need your parents or your siblings or your teacher. You just need yourself. And the resources we have in the internet are limitless. So as a personally, I'll encourage you, go out there and make your dreams come true. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you very much, Gerald, for that awesome presentation. A round of applause for Gerald. I don't know if you know how to clap now or it's a virtual meeting, but you can give yes. Mohol has just done with them. So thank you very much for that presentation, which I believe is very important. Sometimes we get into workplaces without knowing what's going to happen out there. So it's called a leap of faith into the industry. So sometimes it's good to always hear from an expert on how their personal experience was, which is what exactly Gerald just shared with us, his personal experience into the market. So at this point in time, I'd like to welcome questions from anyone. Any questions for Gerald? You can simply raise your hand or unmute yourself.
Feel
Our
free
Will
to
has a
feel
question.
yes, feel free to ask questions related to the topic you have discussed.
Okay, hi, good morning.
This
Good
morning.
morning.
So, I don't know whether I'm speaking for many people here, or maybe I'm just speaking for myself. But the experience that we've had, especially in Strathmore, is that we've been doing multiple things all at once, and we've never really gotten a chance to really specialize. And the only way you can actually specialize is if you actually take the initiative to go and do that specialization.
Yep.
Like I tried to my hand in blockchain, and I tried my hand in data science, which are things that I enjoy, but I still feel like there was a lot more that could have been done, and I feel that there's like the only way I can actually explore those things is if I actually just take a break after university and just work on those things, and probably even work on different things. So what is your opinion on actually taking a break from just pursuing your career and just deciding I'm going to try and learn these things that I wanted to actually learn but never got the time, and then later on I can now just branch and specialize and develop a career or even a business from that?
Yes, thank you, Awero, for your question. I think you are very right. When going to a university, our perception is like you will go to a university and they will teach you how to do things and you'll come there ready for market. No. A university try to give you so many options. It doesn't have to, our Kenyan system don't specialize. We are given so many things, little bit of things of so many things, and which is also good, but totally to develop a specific focal point in a career, it is totally a personal initiative, but actually the best way to achieve it is do a practical example. I will share with you something that I did personally. Sorry if it sounds bad for some of you. My first software I developed in C++. I developed, it's like an application that will assist ladies to understand maybe their menstrual cycles. They can be able to put it and say, okay, the last time I went to, sorry, it sounds bad, but it's actually what I did. It was back in campus. I was at third year. So they can put the previous date and they can be able to calculate, then give them a period of 5 maybe to tell them, okay, this is a period you are safe, you're not safe. Because I used to see so many kids, like people throwing children in the dustbin in campus. So it really hurt me and I felt something I can do. The second one, we used to go back to campus and we used to book like hostels, and they used to have a web application that is very slow. So we developed a mobile app to assist students book hostels. You can select the hostel, select the room number, then it combines the hostel ID plus the room number ID plus student ID, then it makes it a unique value that locks that room for other students not to access. So those are practical. Like you get a problem, if you are doing blockchain, do a project that is related to the blockchain and achieve it from the beginning to the end. Once you achieve the first step, you're already opening yourself to the market. Now you'll get a real problem in the industry apart simulating it in maybe learning. So career development doesn't have to, you don't should not expect a university to take charge. You are totally in charge of your career development. And getting a focal point, definitely you're the one to decide which focal point you want. If possible, create a group of friends who you have same interest with and explore more so that you learn from each other as you grow. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's an interesting thing. Yeah, that's something that we've actually tried. The question is that right now we're doing so many units. Probably getting the time to do that is it has been quite challenging. Yeah, it's either you're doing the schoolwork or you have to sacrifice the schoolwork to do that. And now the question is that after university, after the last exam, the thought is that now it is that time to actually explore those different things, because we haven't really been given that space in order to do that, unless you want to be sleeping 3 hours a night, because at the moment you're sleeping 5 hours a night doing projects. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's but okay, one thing you have said that, like finish schoolwork, then now you start looking for options outside there. I think there's no that much luxury. Like you have to start now. If you have a special interest in something, you can just do it in parallel with the other classworks. And to grow your career, I think needs a lot of discipline. As some of us do normal office work and still do class work. And I'm still a student in Strathmore, finishing up my master's. Finishing up the work, the assignments, the defense, everything, publications and what. Work is there waiting for you full time. You do all work, you respond to your boss. I have like responding to almost 16 countries, and some of them have a time difference of 3 hours. So means I have to either work late sometimes or work early, but it's about commitment. I believe if you commit yourself to anything, you can achieve it. Yeah, so it's totally personal initiative. Thanks, Owero. Thank you. Any other question?
From me?
Or any someone else? Or, ladies in the house?
There's a hand from Magat.
Yeah, hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Good morning. I'd like to ask a question. Is it possible? What's your opinion on someone who does masters immediately after school? Is that a reasonable thing to do?
Okay. What is important is not about when you make the decision. What is important is why you made the decision to do the masters, because masters is like you are specializing more in a specific area. For example, if you did IT and you need to do a bit of management of IT, then it's good. If you want to totally change your career, is okay. But it's always good to work for a year at least to have that industrial experience, come back and do masters, because you know definitely what in the market there and what you need to add to your bucket. If you do degree then masters, definitely what looks like you're going to academia, you're going to be maybe a lecturer, a professor or something. But if you do your degree, go back to the market, then come do masters later. Definitely there's something that you have gone to the market, you have realized it's missing in your bucket, or in your resume, then you come back to school to get it back. So it depends what you want. But for me, I prefer at least you work for a year. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Sure. So, okay.
You can see Mohan. You can take Afandi, and then Waweru after.
Good morning.
Yes, morning.
So my question is, you mentioned something to do with you can use whatever you're interested in to be your career. It doesn't necessarily have to be something that you're studying, but anything that you're having an interest in. So my question is, at the moment, for example, like me, in my final year, my final semester, what if by any chance I got into computer science thinking I'm going to be hacking FBI servers within seconds using just one single line and all those things, and I came to find out it's not that way, but I'm already in my fourth year. So what am I expected to do? Should I try and find something related to my career path, to my course, or should I just try and do it again? Because I know if I am to get a job, especially if I'm not a hands-on person, someone who's not street smart but more of book smart, it's going to be a bit hard for me to get a job without a degree, or a degree that I can make use of. So how would I approach such a situation?
Okay, thank you. I totally agree with you. Most of us join campus with expectations. Like, I'm going to do computer science. I'll be a hacker. Because, some of us are not able to achieve that. But I totally believe that career growth is one step at a time. The initial decision you took is you had a list of so many courses to do, whether do IT, you wanted to do maybe accounting or maybe hotel management or stuff, and you selected IT. That there was an initial feeling, or maybe something that pushed you. I don't believe maybe your parents said, okay, do this. Some of us, your parents tell you, you must be a doctor, you must be a lawyer. No. If it was totally an initiative from you, you said, okay, me, I'm having interest in IT, then IT is so wide, like extremely wide. You can even do designs. Just check, do the research and see which area of IT that works for you. And is it lucrative to the market? You balance that, then you can be able to have an option. Because most of us, the important thing is like you have like a focal point. Already you're setting up your mind to move in a certain direction. Then it's going to be so easy. This decision of moving in that direction should be influenced by so many other things which are external, definitely from what the market responds to, how much you are getting to be paid, is it working environment is okay, and also some internal issues, which is personally what you feel comfortable to do. So you joined computer science, you can't hack Facebook, but still there's something you can do. You can be a designer, website designer. You can be, you can even do contracts for IT, for example, if it's totally not hands-on, like in terms of development. You can be a software tester. You can provide specifications for software. You can do quality assurance. You can do security in IT. Like IT is crazily wide. Like you can apply any part of it. So it takes time to identify what you can do, but at least I'm sure with time, looking at what is available in the market. You can get an area that you can act as a focal point for you. So don't give up, like saying, oh no, maybe I need to do another degree that is totally different with IT, because no, career development is one step at a time. You've already done the degree, just try to build on it, on what you have as a foundation. I don't know whether I've answered your question.
That's a good enough answer.
Thank you.
There's another hand from Maweru. I think he has another question for you.
Okay. Yeah. So just a follow up to what Afandi asked. Yeah, is the whole idea of now this is now like a follow up. Like, so what if I just want
Sorry?
IT in
Sorry,
order to
Waweru, kindly repeat the question. I think I lost you shortly.
okay, can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you.
Okay, okay. So just a follow up to Afandi's question is that what if you know, you had all these expectations in your mind of that I am going to be doing IT, however I feel that I want to go into a field that's totally different in order to orient myself and see how I can use these skills for that industry. Like, for example, I want to do something like farming, for example. Yeah. And now, if that's something completely different, we are not taught that in school. Have you want to dive into it and then see how you can actually use the skills you have now to improve that space. So, do you have any examples of people who have done that? And like, what is their success, or how did they go about it?
Okay, I think Waweru, I lost a bit part of the last sentence, but I get you. It's the total change of career. Not everyone who goes to school and does a certain course end up doing that career. Some people change their careers. And this totally, it depends with you as an individual. How much are you willing to maybe put in, the more effort you need to put in that new career? Giving an example of changing from IT to farming. I totally believe, for example, if you're doing farming from IT, there's still so much that you can use from IT knowledge that can assist you to be successful in farming. Okay, you will get, maybe learn a bit of how to manage the crops, how to plant, when to water it, which irrigation to use, and insecticides. But still, maybe if you already produce the farm, you need to use IT to market yourself, to put the products online. You will be using IT skills. For example, which platform can you be able to put your products on to get customers easily? You can change that industry, but only doing that, keeping records of the farm produce, and being able to see which time of the year is good to do this and that. That is a total database related. You can create this information and also share with other farmers to improve that field. So totally the disciplines are related. It depends with how you look at it. And it also depends on how much effort you're putting to ensure you can improve or make use of that career change using the knowledge that you previously learned. So it's not like we'll just take all the knowledge of IT and put it in a dustbin. Your brain will be, it's like it's empty, then you start entering new information. No, you'll definitely borrow some knowledge from there and add in what you have and move ahead. And I know several people who have succeeded in fields. At some point, I did some work for logistics. Logistics is not IT, but I applied some IT knowledge to assist me do logistics, managing transfer, when to sell, when to transfer things, knowing how much is remaining in the stores, knowing who will be able to handle what, who took what. It's totally not related to IT, but I was still able to apply. So I know so many people who have changed their careers based on what they did in their degree, but they're still successful. So the degree is just the fact that you already done something, but still you can build on it, or you can build in another knowledge which is not related to what you did in a degree. Yeah. So it's possible, Waweru.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
And then there's another hand from Anthony. So shall just take 2 more questions, and then we shall release Josh to proceed with his responsibilities at work. So Anthony, over to you.
Hello.
Yes, Anthony.
I think my question is more technical. You mentioned VoIP as one of the an interesting fields,
Yep.
and I wanted to, like I've just looked into it a little bit, and even from like seeing from the person that recommended to me, it to me like um it seemed like from what I researched, it was like there was an open source tool that helped you create VoIP servers and all. So I just wanted to ask, from your experience, was it more of using an open source tool, or you're like creating it from scratch? I just wanted to know how it was like.
Yeah, so VoIP is super awesome. The first time I knew it, I was like, oh man, I've been behind. Just want to give an example of current status in the country. Safaricom has dominated all our calls. I don't know what's happening in Uganda, maybe Vodafone or Orange or something. And Safaricom is super expensive. Making calls, what we call off-net calls, that is from GSM to GSM, is very expensive as well. Making a call from Kenya to US, China is very expensive as well. Can you imagine with VoIP application is actually possible to call US at US rates. So basically you are purchasing a US number, but you're in Kenya. Then you can have one device, but you can have more than 8 numbers of different countries. That practical example. Now back to your technical question. The best softwares are always open source. Open source softwares are super good because there are so many people who contribute to creating and improving the quality. The cost is very low unless you need customization for yourself. But going open source is very encouraged actually to use open source softwares because you're open to critique, and there's the quality of the code is very high because anyone can come in and critique it. So we used an open source option. It was very affordable for us, but still very useful. And majorly what we did is we used the application to do termination of calls. If that word is technical, I can do a bit of explanation. Termination of calls mean someone is calling from US or China coming to Kenya. Then there are some people who purchase voice at a wholesale rate. It's just the same that you go to the supermarket and you can buy things. So you can also buy voice or airtime at a wholesale rate. Then you sell to people. Then when somebody is making a call to Kenya, they are paying maybe 5 shillings, but they'll pay you out of the customer is paying 5 shillings, but they will give you 1 shilling, they remain the 4 shilling for their charges. So that is what you used to do. And I can imagine a time when we'll be having VoIP applications in the country, making calls will be so cheap because on-net calls will be free. Off-net calls will be costing you. If you do a call forwarding to another country, then the person who is be paying is like the person sitting in the middle. So the cost will be distributed in such a way that making calls will be very low compared to what we have now. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know if I've answered your question, Anthony.
Yeah, I think you've given a lot of context on that specific field.
Yeah. You can try so many options. If you need personally, you can talk to your teacher. Can give you my contact. I can share with you a list of VoIP applications that are very interesting to use. Actually, what is a VoIP application? These are VoIP applications, but I'm talking about a VoIP application that can make a call from from an off-net to on-net. Like you use network to call someone using a kabambe, whatever. So it's converting that digital signals to analog signals to infrastructure of Safaricom, and you call through a base station to somebody's handset. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Sure. There was someone else.
No question from anyone or contribution? I don't think we have any. At this point in time, I'd like to invite one of the module leaders. I think Rebecca can give a vote of thanks on behalf of the class. I'm thanking Gerald for the contribution, and thanks to the participation from the ones who asked the question. So Rebecca, over to you.
Okay, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Thank you so much for giving us the talk. I think we've really learned a lot as a class, and especially as a final year class moving into the job market. It's really been a pleasure to hear about your experience, because I think since you've already crossed that bridge, it's sort of a way of guiding us who are now taking that bridge. So thank you so much. We really look forward to hearing from you. Maybe you can, I don't know if it's would be okay if you could maybe leave your email for anyone in class who would be interested in asking any questions or anything like that, if it would be comfortable with you. And yes, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much, Rebecca, for that. Gerald, I think I leave the liberty to you if you want to type your email in the chat, or if you have other means of communication. Maybe something that's up to you, depending on what you prefer. But thank you so much. I appreciate your time. I know you're a very busy man, but having sacrificed close to an hour to be with us today is something we don't take for granted. So thank you so much.
Yeah, so I'll just if maybe typing my job email will be a bit tricky, because when you see job email and you're like, oh, something is going on, something is going on. So I'll share my student email in Strathmore. I don't know if that is okay with you. You can always post something there. I definitely will respond to it. Maybe it will take a bit of time, but it will respond to it. Yeah, I think that's it. So I'm also very grateful for this team. Oh, there's actually 80, I hope it's something like 84 guys, 84, 83 students. I wish you all the best in career, in your career growth. I don't ever underestimate yourself and what you can do. I can definitely tell you, if you put an effort to it, it works. It may take a bit of time, but you can get there. And IT is, don't settle, don't like close your mind into certain things. There's so much going on, so much. Like you will be amazed by whatever you experience. Then lastly, if you get a job opportunity somewhere, don't say, I'm already comfortable here. Just try to go there and listen to them. Maybe it could be interesting. When I was leaving Strathmore, it's like, no, man, it's too comfortable. These guys are giving us lunch. You're so happy when you get lunch there and you eat. You're like, oh my goodness. Then you come out here and you realize, oh, okay, there's so much into the world that I can explore. So don't be so comfortable. Try to go out there, be aggressive, especially the first year you leave campus. Be aggressive, take any job, don't look at the pay. The first one, try to get something going. Don't say no, that they don't pay well, I can't go. No, get something going. Immediately you get on the highway, I mean from the service line to the highway, you learn. So all the best. I hope whatever I said was useful. If I said something that's not good, kindly forgive me, and I wish you all the best in your class. Thank you, Ray, for inviting me. I'm so humbled for this, and God bless.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. So back to our class. I'd request that we have maybe a short break of about 10 minutes, and then we shall go through a short case study of McDonald's, which we will more or less ejaculate conversations amongst us in terms of how these big organizations are using current technologies. So I will post a link to the case study in the chat, and you can read through within the break. And once we come back, we shall have a small reflection on it and what you think about these particular technologies as they are used in the industry. So let's actually do, I think, maybe 15 minutes break. You can go take a stretch, grab a cup of coffee, a glass of water, or anything. And we come back at 10:35.
How are you? Okay, cool. Just Wednesday. It's just Wednesday. It's just Wednesday. Yeah, call him now. By the way, yeah, tell him we set a meeting and we discuss. Mm. Yeah. Ebu, do this. See, we set a meeting. Mpigie, we set a meeting and then we need to sit down with this lecturer. Ebu, mpigie, then you tell him we have a meeting right after class. Classic, tutakuwa na meeting. Yeah. Ebu mpigie sasa, then tell him we have a meeting. Then we need to write. Mimi. Mimi. Oh, your class, Roseanne. No. Let's have a Zoom meeting. Ndio itayopisha tena. Saizi unajua tuko kwa break for like 5 minutes. Mpigie. Check it. Mpigie. Ebu check it. Yo, check. Eh, Hello? Yeah, yeah. Just call him right now. Then we have a meeting after class. But then you and me meet before we discuss what we're going to tell him. Hmm. No. Um, can you tell him then I'll speak it? Nani? Nani you? Sis, imagine, hey, this is our chance. Kwanza, what was I saying? Check it. Can we, I'm looking for the word. Can you call him and ask for a meeting? Because I called him last time. I'm going to look so annoying. Tena unajua ni yeye alikupigia kwa sababu ya Twitter. She just tell him we have a meeting right after class. Class ikiisha hivi. Just call him right now. Hata nikate then tena mpigie just after class. Then I'll call you right before we discuss what we tell him. So, what do you think? Let me cut. I'm talking so much. He's a full of breakfast. But I hope you're okay. Good morning. What? Good. First of all, good morning. How did you sleep? I hope you slept well. I'm good. Okay, great. Mostly, by the way, sis. Acha nikwambie kitu. Leo ni leo tunamaliza multimedia. Like we just have to finish imagine because let me tell you this thing is
We need to finish before the class gets.
no, not before the class, before even tomorrow.
No, before this class that come is picking up.
Mm-hmm.
Hii kitu tunaweza keti tu mara moja tumalize in one sitting.
Yeah, true.
Let's do that.
True. Exactly. Hifo. Sawa, let me catch up and call him. Hey, I've stayed on to the anything.
Okay, so I hope we are all here. Let's quickly wrap through this particular case study and share an idea or two on what we feel about some of the strategies that the big organizations take when it comes to on new current technology to see that they are able to make profit and also meet customer needs. So how we shall do it is we shall quickly go through. Maybe one person can read the first paragraph and another one reads the next paragraph as we go on and so. So we can start with the first paragraph. You can have a volunteer to take us through. If I may ask, what is McDonald's main business? I think it's a question I once asked you. I hope you haven't forgotten. Anyone with an answer?
I have an idea, so I can't raise my hand because I'm the
No, it's okay.
I read somewhere that it was real estate, but okay, I personally don't really understand how that works. But I'm assuming that maybe they buy up all the land, maybe around McDonald's, and then maybe sell it for developers. I think.
Mm.
That's just my theory. I'm not really sure.
Okay, that's the theory. Any other person?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Me, I think it's a fast food joint. Really, I didn't even know they have real estate.
Okay, fast food giants. Those are two responses. Any even if you've not had McDonald's, you can take a wild guess. So food, fast food joint, real estate, any other? Okay. So yes, those two are answers. However, their core business, by core business I mean what brings in the biggest cash flows, is actually not fast food joints, not the restaurant operation, but the real estate. So McDonald's main business is real estate. And all their outlets or all their restaurants actually housed on their properties. Okay, so that's their main business. They're into real estate. So by real estate, we're talking about housing, office space, and things like that. That's their core business. Okay. So it's a franchise that spreads across different countries. I don't know, they're in so many countries right now. I don't know when they're coming to Kenya. I don't know if we have an outlet yet, but yes. I mean, it's well known for its fast food. I'm talking about sandwiches, burgers, uh, hot dogs, and things like that. So we can have some taking us through the first paragraph. And actually, this is what will inform you when it comes to you writing cases of companies that you are going to study based on the current technologies. I want to make this unit as practical as possible because we need to learn a lot, and these are things that are meant to give you discussion in your respective fields. Okay, as practical as possible, but also very light because I know you have quite a number of work. You have the final projects, So I don't want to be another thorn in the in the flesh. Okay. So let's try to make it as fun as possible. Highly dependent on the contribution in class. Okay. So if we don't contribute, I would take it otherwise, and will deliver probably what I think is best for you, but on your side, without you telling me what you prefer, I will not be able to. We shall not be able to to meet halfway. Okay. I usually like a lot of contribution from the students, so please not make me think otherwise of what I had been told about this class. So can we have someone read into the first paragraph? Yes, Isaac.
Okay, so McDonald's Corporation is an American company founded in 1940 as a restaurant operated by Richard and Maurice McDonald in San Bernardino, California, United States. They rechristened the business as a hamburger stand and later turned the company into franchise, with the golden axe logo being introduced in 1953 as at a location in Phoenix, Arizona. In 1955, Ray Kroc, a businessman, joined the company as a franchise agent and proceeded to purchase the chain from the McDonald brothers.
Okay, thank you very much. You can stop
Should I
there.
continue?
Yeah, I would like to get someone else to proceed from there. So one, we need to understand what exactly is the meaning of AWS, and perhaps some of you could be familiar with the AWS. So let's see some reading the second paragraph, starting from Amazon Web Services. Yes, Miriam.
Amazon Web Services is a subsidiary of Amazon, providing on-demand cloud computing platforms and APIs to individuals, companies, and governments on a metered pay-as-you-go basis. AWS is the world's most comprehensive and broadly adopted cloud platform, offering over 175 services such as compute, database, and storage.
Okay, so why do we choose AWS for McDonald's? I can have some other person reading that next paragraph. Next paragraph, please. Starting from McDonald's Corporation.
McDonald's Corporation, an American hamburger and fast food restaurant chain, is the world's largest restaurant company with 37,000 locations, serving 69 million customers per.
You can proceed.
In 2016, McDonald's India had a vision to make the mobile app the preferred medium for ordering. The vision was to bring the emotions of joy and delight from in-store to the new Mac delivery app experience.
You can finish that last one.
In 2016, McDonald's Corporation CTO Tom Gargetts joined Andy Jassy on stage at Reinvent to talk about becoming a modern, progressive burger company, providing customers with more personalized, convenient experiences. He also talked about choosing AWS and AWS professional services to help McDonald's build a scalable, secure digital platform.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Anthony. Let's have someone continue from what happened. Yes, Stacey.
What happens after adopting AWS? Using Amazon Web Services, AWS, McDonald's built home delivery, a platform that integrates local restaurants with delivery patterns such as Uber Eats. McDonald's built and launched the home delivery platform in less than 4 months using a microservices architecture running on Amazon Elastic Container Service, Amazon Elastic Container Registry, Application Load Balancer, Amazon Elasticache, Amazon SQS, Amazon RDS, and Amazon S3. The cloud-native microservices architecture allows the platform to scale to 20,000 orders per second with less than 100 millisecond latency, and open APIs allow McDonald's to easily integrate with multiple global delivery partners. Using AWS also means the system provides McDonald's with a return on investment, even for its average $2 to $5 order value.
We can have someone completing this. Thank you very much, Stacy. Starting from since when? Yes, Jerry.
Okay. Since then, McDonald's has scaled its digital capabilities across the globe through kiosks, digital menu boards, mobile order and pay, and delivery. In 2019, McDonald's acquired Dynamic Yield and is using state-of-the-art decision engine capabilities, including machine learning and predictive algorithms, to help personalize the customer experience in their drive-thrus. The company is building out its global data platform on AWS using Amazon Redshift, Amazon Athena, and Amazon EMR, and has started a pilot with Amazon Elastic Kubernetes service, Amazon EKS.
Okay, thank you very much for those contributions. Now, for those who had not yet read the case, it's now clear, and having gone through it, at least you've been able to internalize some of the concepts here. So the approach is going to be, we basically want to discuss this particular case for this particular corporation as a way of appreciating current services and how they are used within the industry, which industry is actually where you are going. Okay. So maybe the first question to you would be, what is this case about? Having gone through all those different paragraphs, what is the case about? What are they trying to communicate to us, the readers? Any contributions? Yes, Shannon?
Okay, so I think it's all about how McDonald's have leveraged on their Amazon Web Services to improve on their business and get more customers and the application as well. Yeah.
Okay. To leverage, I'll just pick out something you mentioned, to leverage their business using Amazon Web Services. How did they do that? So picking on from Shannon's statement, how did the McDonald's leverage on the Amazon Web Services to improve services? Any response? Yes, Amal?
Okay, they have implemented. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. So they have implemented the microservices architecture, such as Amazon Elastic Container Service, and this microarchitecture systems enable Amazon to be able to subdivide the different tasks into modules that enable it to perform at optimum levels.
Okay, leveraging on the microservices architecture. And talking about the architecture, if Amazon were to build this in-house, yeah, if they were to do all these services and build all these things in-house, basically using their IT team to do the R&D, research and development, do you think it would have taken them this short time? What are your thoughts on the time element? For starters, how long did it take them to deliver these services, to develop this platform? On the case,
It took less than 4 months.
less than 4 months. So ideally, in a traditional industry, do you think 4 months is enough to develop such a platform?
No.
No. Okay. The advantages we see with cloud computing, that time is of great essence. This is a company that is in over 37,000 locations, serving over 60 million customers per day. So building such a system in a traditional company using the traditional means is something that would take you a lot of time and a lot of resources. Okay. I think that's something we all agree with, right? So here we appreciate the advantage of cloud computing when it comes to supporting businesses. Okay. Apart from it being a sophisticated technology, we're also saving on time and resources. Okay. Let's talk about why. What exactly did they want? What did McDonald's want to get out of this? From your reading, what did McDonald's want to get out of this? I mean, for a company that is in over 37,000 locations, you would imagine. I mean, they're comfortable where they are. Why would they want to develop an app, for example, for delivery? Yes, Rebecca, I saw your mic unmuted.
I think maybe to reach more customers because despite maybe the number of locations, maybe they can't reach still everyone. Like for instance, I don't think like in Kenya we have like okay like in let's say if you are living in South Africa and you lived in a town close by, maybe they would want to reach you via deliveries and all,
Okay,
and also
those are
expand the
Rebecca's thoughts.
menu.
And also to expand.
Expand the menu. Let's say they introduce something new and also to just market to you directly. Um
Hmm,
yeah.
okay, interesting. Expand the menu. There's something interesting about how franchises work. Is that they whatever is in the US is what you will find in Kenya, is what you will find in India, is what you will find in China. Okay, of course there are very slight differences, but the recipe is usually the same. Typical example, what we can relate with in Kenya. If, for example, give me an example of a franchise that we have in Kenya in regards to what we are discussing today. Let's talk about a fast food restaurant that is run on a franchise basis. Any that comes to mind? Yeah, ladies and gentlemen. I hope the only restaurant we know is not the cafeteria. Mhm.
Can you repeat the question?
My question is, what similar franchise do we have in Kenya that we can relate with? The fast food franchise.
KFC.
KFC, that's correct. Okay, so
Burger
the
King.
recipes, sorry?
Burger King.
Burger King. Okay. So you can see that their operations are very much similar with what you will find in other countries. Okay. So they try to maintain the same quality. They'll try to maintain the same standards. Even the outlook will be the exact replica of what the mother company has. Okay. So here they talked about the two golden arcs. It's very clear that you can call these a letter M, but you can see that there are two arcs and not actually a letter M. All right, that they use as their logo. But my question is, what did they want to get? It's what I had asked, and I'd gotten a response. There was also, I think, a hand from Miriam, if I'm not mistaken.
I was agreeing with Rebecca, but in the sense
Mm,
that McDonald's could be trying to venture into like changing how people could order food. Yeah.
okay. So we can see that from this particular paragraph where the CTO talked on Reinvent. Reinvent is a platform that is run by Amazon Web Services in order to give the world or the business industry information about their existing technologies. So they invite speakers who potentially are their clients, and they talk about how they have used their technologies in their company. So what we are studying today is not is not. I'm not promoting McDonald's or Amazon, but just to give us an understanding of how actually cloud computing is appreciated in the industry. Okay, so we can see that from this particular paragraph, he talked about becoming a modern and progressive burger company, providing customers with more personalized, convenient experiences. Let's just take a step back and think about that statement. Modern, new technologies, right? By modern, what are we referring to? If a company is becoming modern, what are some of the things that make it modern? Let's talk about our industry in Kenya. What kind of company would you call modern and why? I'll repeat that question. Looking at our Kenyan context, which company would we call modern and why?
Maybe Jumia, because it's online.
I'd say Centum.
Safaricom.
Industries.
Sorry, I lost my connection over there. Can you hear me?
Yes, you can.
Okay, I think one of you was responding to a modern company in Kenya, and they were giving the reason why. That's where I broke off. Could you just repeat? I think it was Jumia. So what was the reason?
Oh yeah, because it's online.
That's one of the factors because it's online, so anyone can get it as long as they are connected to the network. Any other reason? Yes, Vanessa.
Excuse me, sir. When you say Kenyan companies, did you mean Kenyan owned or just companies running in Kenya? Because if it's Kenyan owned, then there are a lot fewer, and Jumia isn't one of them.
I mean those operating in Kenya. It
Okay.
doesn't matter whether it's Kenyan owned as long as it has its operation in Kenya. Okay. So talking about today's industry, I think one of the things we easily relate with is a company being able to be accessed online. So moving away from the traditional means of having to stand up, getting transport means all the way to the company, to the premises, and then you get the service from there. So modern industry is calling for companies to give us convenient experiences. And you can see that's what exactly McDonald's was trying to achieve by choosing to go to AWS to build something that was modern. Okay. The other question would be, how was this platform going to help McDonald's? Looking at the different aspects of the case study, how would this home delivery platform help McDonald's? And we can see some of the answers within this particular paragraph that is there. We just need to have a developed mind of thinking harder about what is it we need to achieve. Any response? Yes, Jerry.
Um, I think that at least by providing more personalized experience for their customer, you increase customer engagement and you okay, you have more potential to increase the average order value. Like you can upsell your customer. Like if you know they like some things together, you can, as they're checking out, you can suggest it to them. And also having a mobile app makes it easier to collect data about your users and make more informed business decisions.
Very correct. Okay. Well, this discussion is based on opinion. I mean, there's no correct answer or wrong answer, but something we can just relate with based on what our interpretation is. Okay. So that was Jerry's response, making it convenient. Okay. Timothy?
I think that since McDonald's is a global company and the capability of them to integrate with multiple global delivery partners, maybe, for example, like in India, where they have their, so it allows them to easily integrate their platform globally through their franchises.
Yes, very correct. And I think one of the distribution companies they talked about was Uber Eats, okay, as one of their delivery partners. And you would imagine, well, traditionally a company would have to get its own service delivery. They would have their bikes to do these deliveries, but to save on costs, they can actually connect to existing delivery partners to achieve this. Okay, which is something that is very important to note out, and also seeing the advantage of such a platform that can integrate with other applications. But without cloud computing, this may be something that could be very difficult to achieve. Okay. There's something I'd also noted out. Yes, integration with local restaurants. What would be the importance of this? It is a restaurant already, right? But why would this platform be important to integrate with other local restaurants? Have you thought about that? Anyone with a thought about it? Let's think out of the box.
I think by integrating with other local restaurants, they are increasing the user base. So if they're processing orders from other restaurants, they're getting the customers who maybe people who don't like fast food but are using another local restaurant. So they're getting that order, and obviously they're getting like a cut from that order or something like that. So like I think it opens makes more users. It opens the user base basically.
Yeah, because my interpretation with this would be, it's not like McDonald's is selling its own products, but more than its own products, it's achieving a home delivery service. That's my understanding from this. Jerry, you have something different? Was it you who was speaking before? I didn't know who was speaking. I see your mic is unmuted.
Okay, it wasn't me before, but maybe I just wanted to add on that. Okay, the home delivery is okay. I think it's just a way for them to branch, to have another to add another revenue stream into their business, because they already use AWS. So I guess it's a really robust infrastructure, so they can use it as a home delivery service to so they can provide this service to other businesses and make more income, rather than just relying on their fast food business alone.
Okay. Anthony, you heard the comments?
No, I spoke before Jerry.
Okay, all right. So I'll just pick on Jerry's comment where he highlighted a robust platform. By robust, we see some of those details clearly lined up here during the CTO speech. He also talked about choosing AWS and AWS professional services to help McDonald's build a scalable, secure digital platform. Two keywords here, scalable and secure. And these are some of the things you need to reflect on when you are doing the project. Okay? How is it scalable? We are talking about how many million customers? Now, down here in this image, we are talking about achieving 1 million orders per hour. Now, that is something you cannot do on a platform that is scalable and secure. Okay? So, from an IT perspective, this is a platform that has to be very robust. One, to handle expanding customers or growing numbers of customers, because 1 million orders per hour is not a joke. Eh? You would imagine there are companies that struggle with even just 100 orders per day, but we're talking about 1 million orders per hour. All right. So you need a system that is very, very robust. And that's where cloud computing comes in to be able, because of this robustness and also depending on the cloud service provider, you need a company that has stood the test of time. Okay. You don't want to upload your system on a shoddy platform and the moment you hit the 1 million mark, it crashes. Okay. And then also security is very important. Well, here we are not given the details of the security around it, but you would imagine depending on what services you've asked for, there are certain guarantees of security in the event that you have any issues to deal with that. Okay. So by just looking at, some of these discussions, it's important to, I won't go into details of the architecture because the only thing we need to look at right now is the application and appreciation of some of these technologies as they are used in companies today. Okay. The other thing we need to look at is the scale. Okay, talking about scalability. How far did they scale up their orders? How far did they scale up their deliveries? Okay. What was the advantage of the web services or the cloud computing services that were provided by AWS to be able to achieve or leverage on global delivery? What would you say about that? And that answer lies within this particular paragraph that you have on your screen. What would you say about that? If you were the CTO, Chief Technical Officer of McDonald's, would you buy into using this technology? May we get some responses? And I think that will be the conclusiveness of this particular case study. A CTO of McDonald's, let's imagine you've been placed in this position. You're a cloud computing expert from Strathmore University, still at the time of test, maybe 5 years experience or even 2 years experience. And you're working for this multinational. As CTO, would you buy into this? And what could be your reasons?
Personally, I think I would buy into it because it looks like it's a very scalable technology that can serve a lot of people at once. And like as a big corporation, I think that it would be really important to try and maintain the quality of service, not just physically but also digitally.
Okay, very correct. Any other response apart from Rebecca? Anyone with a different opinion? Let's look at the amount of orders they can receive per second. How many orders are they dealing with per second? According to the case.
20,000.
20,000. Okay, with less than 100 millisecond latency. Now you can imagine the kind of speed that they're dealing with. Okay, so these are some of the technology aspects we need to look at to appreciate before we make investment decisions in organizations or in, you're going to be in positions of authority where the finance team is coming and pressing hard on you. As CTO, tell us how these numbers don't make sense. Because we know that IT budget is really high. For those of you who have parents who have who work in IT companies or work in companies that have IT teams, the IT budget is not a joke. And finance cannot let out that money, not until you convince them that actually this makes business sense. So we don't know how much McDonald's invested in AWS, but looking at the AWS fee structure, the smaller, the cheaper, the bigger, the more expensive. Okay. But they looked at the system providing a return on the investment. Looking at here, they say an average of $2 to $5 per order. So talking about 20,000 orders per second, and you're having $2 to $5. Those are how many dollars per second? Okay, it's way too much. So there is a return on investment, and before you make any investment decisions, cloud computing is not a cheap solution, but you must understand the business case. Where is the money going to come from? Okay, so it's quite something that you need to look at, even when you are carrying out investment decisions. Yes, it's good to have an idea of how these technologies work, but you also need to understand the business side of things, and that's why you actually have business units. I don't know which particular unit you did for your particular course, but that's why you have business units to give you an understanding of the business of the IT. Okay. Yeah. So with this in summary, I think I would say McDonald's did a good thing to develop this platform, and their choice for the cloud computing service company is upon them. But we know of different other companies that offer the same platforms. Microsoft has a cloud computing platform, Google has a cloud computing platform, and so many others. Google has a cloud computing platform. So depending on what your investment ideas are, and then also what you would like to achieve at the end of the day. Okay. So looking at this particular case, we are not concluding at anything, but I just wanted to pick your thoughts on what you feel about this particular case, and also looking at the digital capabilities that are used across. Okay. So you can see in that last paragraph here, we see in 2019, they acquired state of the art decision engine capabilities, predictive algorithms using machine learning. And this, I think, has a lot to do with recommendation systems or recommender systems, whereby if you place an order, the next time you come to place an order, it will even suggest for you orders similar to the first order that you made, or similar to recent orders that you've made. And that's why people are always hooked on phones when it comes to making orders, online orders, because the system automatically profiles you and knows what you would like to buy, and you don't even need to search through a lot. There's a certain story of a lady in the US who, for some reason, early in the morning, she received a package from actually the same company, Amazon. So she received a package from Amazon, and it had a combination of baby clothes, baby diapers, and feeding bottles. So the first question she asked herself, how could they send me this when I don't even have children? But because she was pregnant, and this is not information she had disclosed to the company, nothing. But because she was pregnant, and how pregnant? I mean, I'm talking about 3 months pregnant. Okay, so not even, you cannot even say that the cameras caught her somewhere and they share this information with the company. But because of her search on the Amazon platform, she was searching for things that are baby related. So the algorithm was able to pick out that, most likely this is a mother. And then they sent out a gift hamper to her. I think it was towards the end of the year, and there were baby items. So you can see how far these platforms can go when you appreciate them. And with that story, I would like to end the class at this particular point in time. Are there any questions from anyone? Okay, so I'd also like to get some bit of feedback from our first presentation that we had, as well as this particular case study. Are these things we are really appreciating and we are learning a lot from? Feedback? Many reactions from anyone and comments? Okay, so my assumption is silence means all is well. Okay, so you can take hold of that link. You can read through that case study once again and internalize it more. I'll also share the schedule for your corresponding weeks. And how you'll be assessed will be basically based on your interpretation of the sessions that we shall be having. So just a one-page write-up of what you've learned, whose outline I'm going to share with you, basically the skeleton of how the case study will be done. And then, yeah, so every week I expect you to write just a small summary, and then we can pick it up from there. That's how you'll be assessed. Yes, Shannon.
I think an addition would be for the guest speakers who are also coming. Maybe they tell us how a day in their work is usually like, so we can have an idea instead of just a presentation. Yeah, I think it would get personal stories of what to expect. Like, for example, what Gerald shared about the VoIP and and his experience. I think that was really nice. So I think maybe we focus more on their personal stories on how it is actually working in the industry. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think these are questions you need to ask them when they're presenting. So feel free. Thanks for that. Okay, so it's 11:23 and we don't want to hold you here any further. Let's meet again next week. Bye-bye.